Judge Judy. I have to ask you about the state of our country right now and how divided it feels. You know, the left hates Trump. They blame it all on him. Trump and the right think the left sowed discord. And it's like you can't even have a conversation, certainly about politics, even with your neighbor.
Sometimes with your mate, sometimes with your children. And that's absolutely ridiculous. You know, you can't make judgments without information. You should make judgments based upon quality information. And what's happened, I think, in the country is people quite naturally only want to surround themselves with people who have like opinions because it makes them feel smarter. Oh, see? You think just the way I do. You must be brilliant. That must make me brilliant. So what we do is we surround ourselves with people who think like we do. We read the newspapers that give us the message that makes us feel validated. We go to movies that have that message, whatever that message is. We join organizations. We become involved with clubs who share our views because really what that's doing is making us feel smarter as an individual. That's okay. But you can't do it if you don't respect a reasoned judgment that's inconsistent with yours. And in order to do that, you have to listen to it. You have to listen to it. You have to read about it. You have to say, no. You know, I mean, people who criticize the president, and sometimes he deserves that criticism. He doesn't know how to deliver the message. You know, there's an old saying, you're not supposed to kill the messenger for the message. Mm-hmm. Do you all remember that saying? Yep. Well, if you say conversely, you're not supposed to kill the message for the messenger.
Right.
And sometimes the messenger doesn't deliver it. You said something earlier. You said, I'm tough, but I have a sense of humor. And I've always found that a sense of humor and a little bit of self-deprecation can let you get away with murder. You know what I mean? You can laugh at yourself. Well, I'm old, I'm short, you know, whatever you want to say about yourself that makes other people around you feel better about themselves. Yep. Well, that's a lesson that a lot of people could learn.
What do you make of, I mean, not only are we divided, but the country, it feels like we're facing just a national crisis with these school shootings that we see now every other week. I mean, the shooting down in Texas, it's almost already out of the news cycle, whereas 5 years ago, it would have dominated the news for weeks and weeks and weeks.
What do I think? I think that there are always going to be bad people, always going to be sick people, but I think that as a community, and America is supposed to be a community, you're supposed to do things that are smart. Children should not be able to have guns. Period. End of discussion. If states have said that they are not going to consider teenagers culpable so that they can be tried in the adult court system because they're still at an age when their minds are being affected by things that perhaps are not good judgment-wise, they still haven't been formed yet. Well, if you haven't been formed yet, you shouldn't have a gun. So I think that they have to raise the age.
Raise the age at which you can buy a gun.
People who can buy a gun.
21?
I like 21. You know, if it were up to me, it would be a little older, but I'll accept 21. I mean, if you have to be 21 to buy a pack of cigarettes, isn't that 20?
To have a drink.
To have a drink. Yet you can buy a weapon that can kill 100 people in 5 minutes. I think it's crazy. And I tell you, for those people who are going to come out and haunt me from out there, I had a gun permit for many years. So I'm not one of those people who say, you know, you shouldn't carry a gun. I felt comfortable. My husband had a gun permit for many years. We felt comfortable, and then after a while we said, all right, it's making a hole in your pants, and it's too heavy for me to carry around, and we turned them in. But I think that we had the good judgment and we had good training. I also think that anyone who has a gun, any adult who has a gun that doesn't keep that gun secured,
yep.
There should be not only criminal sanctions and not only monetary sanctions, but criminal sanctions as well. I think that if you have a weapon, you have to be responsible.
That's right. And all the more responsibility required when you know that you have a child in your home who may have some mental health issues.
Any child. How many children are killed because their father or mother left their gun under a mattress and a 6-year-old gets it or a 5-year-old gets it? Ridiculous. And if that's what's necessary to give you a fine, a penalty, to take away something, you know, we learned as a country to buckle up for safety, right? When they said, oh, you can't smoke in restaurants anymore and you can't smoke in a plane anymore, we thought the world was over.
Yeah.
It just takes a little time. But right now we're in an acute stage. So I think somebody, and I actually think that it would be the right thing for the president to say, you can't buy a gun unless you're 21 years old. That would be a good start.
He said it, and then he backed off of it. Judge Judy, I have to tell you, for many years of listening to your Tell It Like It Is, full of joy, full of humor style on that bench, I thank you. You are an inspiration to me and to so many others, so many millions of Americans. All the best to you. Thank you for being here. Oh, look at that. She made my dream come true today. Judge Judy airs Monday through Friday. Check your local listings. And if you want to read a little bit more about why I love Judge Judy, go to today.com/Megyn Today. We'll be right back.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.